scroll giveaway in the thread.
Hey Janice, how are you tonight? Kathy, Diane, Karen, how are you? Beverly. Thanks, Beverly. Hey Judy, how are you? Hi Patsy. Hi Kathy, Vicky, Darlene, how are you guys doing tonight? Hi Linda. Hi
Welcome
Catherine.
everyone.
We'll wait a couple seconds to let people get on. Hi Debbie, how are you tonight?
What do you think?
Very pretty.
I just made that up.
I think that's fantastic.
And the thread of the month.
You know what it is? 40 years, the sea foam, right?
It's not sea foam.
Was it 46, 45, 45, 46?
And announcements. We need announcements too. Let's see if I can pull those up on my phone. We're not very prepared tonight. Hope everybody had a really good weekend. And we have announcements.
I'll look at it.
I saw turquoise and some other ones, but
It's a variegated thread tonight. This month is variegated.
oh, it's a variegated.
Thinking about the beach.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Hi, Cindy. How are you tonight? Hi, Jan. Hey,
We've got a
Ruth. How are you?
good show for you tonight. I made up a new
Julie?
blog. I'm always looking for stuff to do with layer cakes. That's super easy and fun, and so this one is. And we'll get into it here in just a minute. We do have announcements.
I don't. Catherine, I'll have to ask. They were asking if we're behind on shipping.
Shouldn't be now.
Caught up.
Everybody else is. Getting stuff in here is kind of crazy.
Thank you, Tom. How are you tonight? He said hit that thumbs up button. We do like to smash up the like button.
Smash up the like button, share it with a friend. This is going to be a good show. You don't want to miss it. And this is one. Share it with your quilting friends because I know I have several of these at home. And I know you do too. And I picked out some more for you to look at because once you see this block made, you're going to want to make it yourself. So share this one with all of your quilting friends. This is one you don't want to miss, and it's worth. It'll get rid of some scraps.
I'm going to print your announcements right now.
I have them right here.
Oh, you got them? Okay,
I
perfect.
pulled them up on my phone.
Nice.
I thought we had more time than we did.
Well, you know.
Time is.
Time flies.
I hope the building's not like a time warp.
Never know.
Never know.
Philadelphia project or something?
Something like that.
I didn't see a bigger one.
Okay, so we have the little one. We are Quilters HQ, Windmill Sewing Center, and Sewing Machines Express. The websites are quiltershq.com, sewingmachinesexpress.com, or I've not had enough coffee today. QHQ, the number 2.com, and quiltershq.com. And this is Joan Sews. We do this every Tuesday from 6 to 7-ish Central Time. And announcements. Kimberbell Club, June 11th. Collage quilting with Kimberbell. It's an In the Hoop project. It's your beautiful tea towel.
B-E-A-U-T.
No, it's not quite that. I think that's probably copyrighted by now by
Probably.
One of the.
Hi, Barb. Hi, Louise. Yeah, Catherine, we'll have Carrie check on that. Carrie, if you'll check the notes in the morning on Catherine's shipment.
Barnina Serger event. I love sergers. This would be a great serger event. This would be a great serger block. This one. One to make with your overlocker. $99. That one is August 16th from 9 to 4. We might fire up the margarita machine for that.
Margaritas!
Or frozen Cokes, whichever you prefer.
Yeah.
Hey, how about a frozen Coke and bourbon?
We could try it.
Beginning quilt piecing, September 9th through 30th, 10:30 to 1 at Quilters HQ. Cost is $60. Beginning quilting, October 7th through the 28th at Quilters HQ. And cost is $60 for that. That's with your walking foot. AccuQuilt Club is this Thursday. And we are finishing our pineapple sampler last month for this one. And we're going to start a new one. I should have that up on the website for the next project. You can either register for just the pattern, which will be $10, or pattern and a kit, which will be a monthly kit cost.
We got a couple of comments. Mr. Cranford wanted to know how our move went.
I'm still tired. And there's still stuff to do, but we've kind of got it put together.
Yeah,
sort
a little
of.
bit, I think.
A little
closer.
bit. It looks really super empty. And I look at all this stuff and I'm going, how do we get this all crammed into that little store?
Let's see. Twyla said, what sewing machine are you using there, Joan?
This is the TL18. This is a straight stitch only machine. I also have the magnetic seam guide.
Do we have those in stock?
We have this one. They are, I did take it off of the wall. They are $14.99. And if you want one of these, comment "Make It Mine" seam guide. This is just a great tool. I love it. I use it home. I use it here when I'm piecing because I can line it up perfectly with that 1/4 inch mark on the machine and get perfect 1/4 inch seams. The difference between this machine and the TL2010 is this one has a little dial here that you can actually increase the distance between the feed dogs and the presser foot. So if you're doing thicker items like bags, then you can still feed that through. I see a lot of people sewing and assisting their project through the feed dogs. If you're a pusher, then you're not letting the machine do the work. Even thicker items like bags, the machine should just pull that through, and if it's not your presser foot pressure, that's this knob on most machines, it's either here or here on the side, is too much.
Hi Lana, how are you tonight?
And again, sewing with my favorite color of thread, 2615 from Aerofill. Disappears with everything. And I didn't check my bobbin before we started, but
oh, congratulations, Carol. She got her 790 plus today.
Oh, nice. That's right. Bernina is doing their trade up event. And you can get 25% off of MSRP on a Bernina machine with a trade. And we don't really care what the trade is, do we?
Not really.
I haven't had any boat anchors come in yet, but
Push, pull, or drag them in.
I know.
Catherine asked, do you like the magnetic seam guide better than the 1/4 inch foot? I tend to not get a great seam with the feet.
I do like it better than the 1/4 inch foot. And simply because on the 1/4 inch foot, that little piece of metal, I don't know if I'm a forceful sewer pushing that up against the seam guide, but sometimes it bends a little bit. And my seams, even though I think I'm getting a 1/4 inch because it's set for that, it's a little bit more. So this doesn't budge. And I mean, you can't even pick this up with your fingers. You have to use the little handle they gave you. So it's a pretty strong magnet. So,
Everybody do a tech check on their Facebook. Everything working okay?
can everybody hear me okay? It's kind of echoey in here because we don't have
All the quilts up.
quilts up
fabric
to deaden the sound a little bit, the echo. So this came to me last night, woke me up. Stuff does. Quilting keeps me awake at night, and it wakes me up. And so this is one that you can do with your layer cake. You do need a pretty good contrast with your layer cake. So if you've got one that's got a lot of flowers in it, probably not the best one. You want good. This has got some larger prints in it, but I mean, it's not large for some of them. But this is, which collection is this? I want to say it's Americana. It's right there on the edge.
This is My Country.
My Country. From Moda. Karen Schmitz. Kathy Schmitz. Wow. Kathy Schmitz Studios.
Nice.
And it's...
Sorry, Kathy.
Sorry,
We're
Kathy.
getting there.
That's me, not you. But it's got some great fabrics in it, and we're coming up on Memorial Day, so I thought I would use this one. We have 3 more of these. If you would like one, they are the new price, $44.99. Comment, make it mine. And so I just did a blue one, so I'm going to do a red one. So I'm going to pull off this, I think the red and white will look good together. So I'm going to pull out that one. And we did stripes. Let's do this one. I think those two will go really well. And there is no pattern for this, so save the video. I'm sure Molly will turn this into a YouTube video. And I'm just going to put these right sides together and just kind of line them up, and you, as best you can. We're going to trim this down afterwards, so don't worry about it too much. And then I'm going to rotate my mat just a little bit so that I have a good angle with my ruler. And we're going to cut these in half diagonally. So once you have that, you're just going to carefully slide this one off, and then you're going to bring your ruler over, and you're going to cut another one 1.5 inches. So we're just cutting this in half, and then we're cutting 1.5 inch strips off of here. Now the reason I did them right sides together is so I can just pick these up and sew them. And then we're going to rotate this one. And 1.5 inches. And I'm using the Quilter Select 3.5 by 18 ruler to make these cuts. And I have a smaller Quilter Select mat on top of my cutting mat because this mat is kind of, I don't know, slickery? Is that a word?
It's got a little slickery to it, maybe a little sheen.
It'll allow the fabric to move a little smoother so that my pieces don't become separated the way that they would. So we're going to pick up these 2 pieces, both of these, and we're just going to sew them together. And we're sewing the long sides. We're going to sew along this side of the seam for both of them. You are working on the bias for this, so don't stretch your fabrics. And let me just get that 1/4 inch seam placed correctly on here. Try not to stretch. This is, if you wanted, you could use the Acorn Precision Pressing product, and that'll add a little more stability to your product, your layer cake. Love this machine.
Visions of someone trying to use an acorn.
An acorn?
Hey Debbie, how are you tonight? Welcome to the show.
Let's piece this one together.
Remember, if you guys have a question for Joan or something that you want to see, please let us know.
Okay. Now I'm not going to press these yet, but I am going to open it up.
Hi Jody.
And then just do a little finger press. Now be sure not stretch, because this is on the bias. We're going to take these apart. And so, well, let me press it real quick. That'll make it a little bit easier to show you. So when you are pressing, do not stretch these, because it does stretch your block out a little bit.
So you've got a couple questions here, Joan,
Okay.
coming in, which I love questions, so please throw those questions out there.
Fire
Joan.
away.
What is the name of the block?
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because I think you should help me name it.
Absolutely.
I made this up last night. Crossroads? It's probably already taken. But
I don't know. Throw some names out there for us. Hi, Kathy. How are you tonight?
so you're going to take two of the pieces. So we're going to do this twice. Let me press this one. And we're going to press all of our seams in the same direction. And it doesn't really matter as long as they're in the same direction. And I am using my wool mat for this instead
Hi,
of just
QJ.
the,
Welcome to the show.
instead of just the regular ironing board, because I want the wool mat. The wool mat helps me when I'm working with fabrics on the bias, because it will actually take that bias where it's stretchy here and just press it into that wool mat and help stabilize that bias a little bit.
You've got another question coming in here.
Okay?
Christy wanted to know, did you say you could make this block with a serger?
Yes, you
Okay.
could. So anywhere I am piecing, you would just serge. Makes it so much easier. And you have finished edges. And, yeah, super easy with the serger. Now, normally, when you're going to want to get a close-up of this. So normally when we're piecing and we have triangles together, we're overlapping like this by 1/4 inch like this. You're not doing that with this block. We're going to actually trim this down. So this corner is actually going to line up perfectly with that edge like that. And then you're just going to fold it over and piece it starting just like this. So instead of overlapping like we normally would, like this, you're going to piece like this. Because we're going to trim that off later.
Got one name coming in here, Joan.
Okay, what's the name?
Crisscross.
Chris. Oh, I like it.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else got some names? Throw those names out there. Got questions? Please throw those out as well. Try to get them answered as quick as we can. If you're just joining the show, this is Quilters HQ, or JoanSews at Quilters HQ. And Joan decided to sew out this block that came to her in the middle of the night.
Woke me up, middle of the night. So
I'm sure that's never happened to any one of you.
same thing with this side. We're going to do this one, and then we're going to do the other one as well.
Got another one, Starburst.
I like that.
Play Jacks.
I was thinking Jax.
That's a good one too, yeah. Somebody threw out Crossroads is already a block name.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
You get that one.
But I don't
But
think...
we can invent a new one because we have that power.
How about Star Jacks?
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Okay, let's just do this other one. I don't know why.
Stephanie said we need an A to Z quilt.
An A to Z quilt. Okay.
X marks the spot. It kind of does look like that too. Beverly likes Play Jacks.
Play Jacks.
It is very, yeah, Memorial Day, 4th of July. Either of those, really, right? Treasure hunt.
Treasure hunt. I like
that's
that.
a good one too. Yeah.
That would be a good name for the quilt.
Ooh, yes. Crossings.
Okay, so we have our two identical pieces, and because I pressed this seam going this way, I'm going to press all of the seams going that way. This one too. Again, the wool mat, it's just a delight for anytime you're working with the bias on quilt blocks. Give that a good press, make sure those are laying down flat. And it does go together pretty quickly, mostly because you're making two blocks at one time. So the next part is just a little bit, not tricky, but you could easily mix up these steps. And it seems wrong, but it's not. Well, the step after this, you're going to go corner to corner and cut these in half again. On the diagonal.
Exclamation.
Exclamation. I like it. And one of the things that I'm doing while I'm cutting these on the diagonal is making sure that this cross line right here is lined up with the seam line on my block. I'm more concerned about the seam line than I am matching up these corners here. Okay.
America's Delight.
America's Delight.
Mm-hmm.
So once you have these, you're going to rotate and you're going to have these, and we're going to sew both of these together. And I know you're like, but Joan, it doesn't look like that. That's not how it goes. Stick with me and you'll see.
Kathy said Joan creates instead of sleeps. After all, sleep's overrated.
No doubt, right? I'm sewing in my sleep. When they come to you, they keep you awake, and so I'm hoping by making this block, I'll sleep tonight. Okay, so there's one. And again, we're just, lining up everything up like this, and we're going to sew these together. I am taking the time to make sure these seams here are nested, because this is this centerpiece right there.
Joan's late night block.
Well, if it looked like a Z, we could cut it up, called it lack of Z's or something. Okay, so we're not going to open these up. We're actually going to cut 1.5 inches from the edge of the fabric here. Not from the seam, from the fabric, 1.5 inches. And I'm just making sure that's lined up there. Let me hold that down, squish that side down. And there we have it. So there's that one. And then there's that one. 1.5 inches. And that one. Okay, let's take these two pieces over to the iron and press them open, just like this. Oops, got a little bit of the wonky press right there. And I want all my seams to go the same way. So I'm going to press this side this way. And again, any time that the edges are kind of doing that warbly stuff that bias usually does,
Raspberry pie.
raspberry pie. Kind of, yeah.
Good night, Joan.
Good night. No doubt. So these pieces that we have left over here, we're going to actually line up with our blocks so that they alternate. So now you can start to see this block coming together. If I can find the right piece, there we go. Just like that. So let's sew these pieces on. And the other thing about this is, you know, when you get into this, all of you, if you press all your seams the same direction, when you start, your seams just naturally nest. Line up those other two seams. Sew this side on. Oh, I'm loving how this one turned out.
Patsy said, sleepless nights.
Sleepless nights. I like it. Yep, that's going the right way.
Who would have thought it?
Okay, so I'm done with all my biases, so I'm going to start pressing this block, and I'm going to give it a really good press, and maybe just a little shot of steam.
Hey Ellen, how are you tonight? Ooh, that's an interesting one. Pick up sticks.
Pick up sticks. I like that one too. It's all
My
over.
uncles used to do that to me. And like, you want to play 52 card pickup?
And I bet you
Throw
were,
all the
oh,
cards.
yeah,
I was
I
like,
do.
yeah, I want to play. And they throw all the cards.
So you wind up with a block like this that has these kind of funky corners here. So we need to trim those down.
Hi,
This
Cecilia.
actually makes a 6.5 inch finished
Hi,
block.
Susie.
So we're going to trim this down to 7 inches. And so I am looking for, I turned my ruler so I don't have a 1/2 inch on it. I am looking for the 3.5 inch mark. So 1, 2, 3.5 right here. And I'm lining that up with this center portion right here. So 1, 2, 3.5. And right there. And so when I'm looking through my ruler, I'm making sure this point is right on that point. This one is right on that point. This one is right on that point. And you can see the, I can wiggle this a little bit and make sure that these points are straight too. If I had a 7.5 inch Quilter Select ruler, it would be super easy. I could just set it down. But I'm making sure that this seam, this diagonal line is across the seam, and then this 3.5 inch mark is intersecting the points on this ruler or on the block. And that looks good. So points, points, and points.
Remember, if you do have a question, stop us at any time and throw a comment out there or question, and we'll try to get them answered.
Next part's super easy because I can just spin my ruler around, find my 7 inch right there, and line it up. And then just make sure that all of my points are pointy.
Are your points pointy? Is everybody's points pointy at this point?
They're not always. And there's our next block. I kind of like that one more than the blue one. What do you think?
That's a pretty good block too.
Yeah.
And they look really good together.
Shall we finish this one too?
You know what? I think we should.
Let's. So these are, so you end up with 2 identical blocks. This quilt would work really great with a sashing in between each block, or you can piece them. If you do piece them, I would put light and dark together like this. And so your next one would be a light, but we would put that one there. We would just, so let's finish this one. So let's throw these together. So how long did it take to make that one block? With explanations. So it's pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Ballparkish, as Mary said. You did have the super speed, so.
You know I do.
Alright, Barbara said she likes both of them, but blue is her color. So she's going to go on the blue side.
On the blue side, okay.
Carol likes the blue also. We got 2 votes on blue.
Where are my red people?
They'll show up. They'll be...
Red and white is always so dramatic, so. Okay, let's press these seams. Which way? This way. And I'm just following this one seam that I already pressed.
Beverly likes the red.
Okay, so I'm going to spin this so I'm actually pressing vertically. I'm going to put a little bit of steam on it. Not a lot. Don't need a lot when you're using your wool mat.
Vicky likes the red. Catherine likes the red one a little better. Red all the way. Me too. Love the drama block. Red and white. Red. Got another blue. Together they make a great start to a Valor quilt.
That is
Definitely.
absolutely right. And there's lots of reds, and so I think the next one I might pair up this one that has the pattern on it with the blue.
Got a blue and a red.
Those will look really nice together. So, again, so I'm going to find the 3.5 inch mark. Let me find the right side of my ruler. This is an 8.5 inch ruler. So if you are using a ruler that has a half size on it, do pay attention to where your 1/2 inch is marked on your ruler. So I'm looking for 3.5. 3.5 is right there. So I'm lining that up. I'm lining this 3.5 inch mark up with the center with these seams right here. And then my diagonal block, my diagonal is lined up with the diagonal seam. And so take your time doing this, because this is where you get those sharp points on your corners here, up here. So when I'm finishing this block or this little quilt, I am going to piece all my blocks together and then go back and trim them later, because I like sewing more than trimming. And this mat helps quite a bit, because once I set my ruler on this, I can just spin my ruler instead of having to pick it up. So let me find that finished. I'm looking for the 7-inch line on my ruler.
So Ellen wanted to know, she missed the first part of it. Are you going to put this block out there, available on the website, or?
There's no pattern for this. This is one of the things that just
video tutorial
flew out of my imagination, or
Hi Teresa, how are you tonight?
Came to me through the universe, or however it happens. But this video will be available on YouTube, so you can go watch that there. But even if you just did a 2-fabric quilt, how cool would that be if blue is your color?
Mr. Cranford said you put a little bit of a cream background on it and look very country.
Yep.
Christy was saying, you know, the blue could go with a yellow, would make it really dramatic too.
Or a gold. So if you were thinking Quilts of Valor, you could find a nice gold to pair up with all of that, because that's another one of our military colors. Everybody has gold somewhere. Well, let me know what you think about our made up block, and I like it. I'm gonna put it together.
Should we make like a top 3 name options?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some good ones too.
Yeah. Crisscross was good. The Jacks was good. It does kind of remind me of the game Jacks.
You've got another question coming in here.
Okay.
Will the heat go through the wool mat and warp the cutting mat even if you use steam?
Yes, it will. Ask me how I know. Because I've done it. So I don't have it like all the way on my mat, and this is a solid piece of wood. I would
Butcher block.
Butcher block. I would not use your wool mat on your cutting, your sewing furniture, like your horn cabinet or your arrow cabinet or your koala cabinet. That's a no-go, because that's a laminate, and the heat will actually cause that laminate to let go of your...
Not wanting that.
Nope, nope, nope. That's not covered by warranty. So, yeah, I can cheat a little bit and fudge a little bit here, because this is just a solid piece of wood. And I've got the mat far enough over, it's not going to warp it. But, yes, it will warp. So, don't put your wool mat on your cutting mat.
Mrs. Cranford said that she really likes the block. You have my permission to not sleep once in a while. Laugh out loud.
Yeah, stuff like this comes to me. The last quilt that we did in here was one of those ones that just popped into my head, and then I couldn't sleep until I had it in electric quilt ready to show the rest of you. And so long. So tips for this, for picking out your layer cake. You want layer cakes that have good contrast. So this is a red, white, and blue, always a good contrast. I picked out some others. So, yeah, reach. This one is My Country by Kathy Schmitz. And these are $44.99. We have some that are a little bit less too. So you know what this one is going to look like. Another one, we have two of these. And this is before the price increase. These are $39.99. And so if you look through, we've got some really dark fabrics, some good greens, some good purples, and some really nice tans. So lots of contrast in this one. We have two of those. So comment, make it mine, Mill Creek Garden. And we played with this one week before last, didn't we?
I think we did a little bit.
We did. We did a jelly roll with this one. Another one. So who was it that said they liked blue?
Catherine, I think.
So with this one, you could have almost kind of just a blue and cream quilt. Lots of contrast here. You could make a great guy's quilt with this one. This one is $44.99. Comment, make it mine, Astra. We have 4 of these. And then something a little more fun. So I said no flowers, no big flowers. But this one, even though it has this one panel with a lot of big flowers, it's mostly all red. And then you get to yellow and some orange. Then some greens and some blues. A lot of contrast in the colors. But the nice thing about layer cakes, this one is $44.99. We have 4 of these. And we have the fabric for this too, I think.
Yeah, we might.
I think we, maybe. It looks familiar. We might. Comment, make it mine, story time. This is from American Jane. This would make a really beautiful, colorful quilt. It's not going to be very big unless you put a sashing and a border with it. 7, so 6.5. So it's going to be 6. You're going to have 42 pieces. So you'll have 42 blocks, and it will be 6 across and 7 down. So that's 48. It's a nice throw. I heard them being called nap size instead of lap size quilts. Now they're nap quilts, which I thought is kind of cute. So we have some others. I didn't pull them out. Will you grab that orange one? I want to show them a good example of, yep, warm, hot, yep.
Thank you.
So this one has these big patterns, but it's not a lot of good contrast. They're kind of in the same hue, and this one wouldn't work quite as well for this block. You really want this almost black and white difference between the fabric colors, and these are just too similar. So the peaches that are in here are too similar to the greens. This one would kind of look washed out afterwards, but you never know. You could make it and it would turn out lovely too. So those are some of my recommendations. I know you have tons of layer cakes in your stash because I do too. Sometimes you just can't resist. We're calling them nap quilts now.
Nap quilts. Does this encourage taking naps? Because this sounds like it might be good.
Well, I think because, you know, this kept me up. It's a nap quilt.
You probably want a nap.
I kind of do, a little bit. Some really pretty fabrics in here. Some words on it. Don't get caught up in which way the words are reading. Don't worry about it. So, this...
Hi, Bernadine. How are you?
will make an
Oh.
absolute gorgeous quilt. So I hope you enjoyed this and you'll try it yourself. And don't be afraid to mix. So like how we have this dark blue one. When you're making your quilt, mix it with a red one too. So just as long as you have that contrast, your block will turn out wonderful.
And if you couldn't get on tonight or you're coming in late, you can always go back and watch the stream on YouTube after the stream is over, because it has to post and upload.
Yeah,
and then you'll get a notification for the latest. If you subscribe, which we definitely encourage you to subscribe to the channel.
All the channels.
All the channels, all the Facebooks, you know, so don't miss
Instagram.
out on any of the fun blocks that we're working on.
Yeah, because you never know when something like this is just gonna.
Thanks for sharing your dreams.
Okay, so you can kind of see the color. It's 4664. This is our color of the month. Normally, you're only seeing the small spool. You're actually going to get the large spool in 50 weight. So, but it's a beautiful color. Reminds me of the beach of Aruba.
That's that time of year, you know.
I know. And 15% off on the show, 20% off if you're in the club. We are still waiting for the club boxes to come in.
Oh, you're going to make this into a tutorial as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Molly's going to make this into a tutorial for you.
So I
With
guess
her magic.
check the YouTube channel because it'll be crisscross block, or what was the other ones? Jack's block,
Starburst.
No,
there were a lot of good ones.
Yeah, there was a lot of good ones.
Play Jacks.
Play Jacks. I like that one.
Let's see. Carol asked, are you going to have a grand opening for the new store?
June 17th and 18th. You do not want to miss out on this. Our vendors have said, I want to be there too. And I said the price of admission is free stuff. For the vendors, not you. You are the recipient of the free stuff. So, yeah, even we buy our boutiques mainly from Island Boutiques, and they said let us know so we can send something too.
Wow.
I hope they
There's
send something
something.
big, you know, like a 40 bolt collection or something. But
Late night creation, sleepless nights. We got all kinds of names.
oh, I like sleepless nights too. Because your mind goes down this path, and then it goes down this path, and then
And where does it end up? X marks the spot.
there you go.
Treasure hunt.
I like that.
That was a good one too.
That's a good one too. So, yeah, make this. Send us your pictures so we can post them and everybody can share. I like this stripy one here. Look at that. Pair that up with ooh, that one. That'll be a fun block. See, I'm already having fun.
Yep. Creating
So-
another one.
Yep, creating another
Out of
one.
that layer cake.
Mm-hmm. Well, all of these go into the layer cake. So if it's 6x6, it's 36 inches wide-ish. So it's 36 and a half. So 3/2, 37, 38, 39. So it's 39 by
Hey, Virginia.
42 plus 4 by 47. So perfect. That's if you just sewed all the blocks together. We have yardage for this on our website. If you did, you know, for those of you that decided you wanted this one, we have yardage for it. And this, I think we have this. I hope we have this because I want some of this. Or even this would make a great, you know, sashing. Or you could do it in just, you know, white or navy would work too, solid. And that way you don't have to worry about your colors blending when you get to, you know, places like this. Okay.
Well, we do have a giveaway tonight. We got, what, about 10 minutes left?
10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay. What's our giveaway?
Our giveaway is one of your favorite tools.
Oh, the doohickey?
The multi-finger pressure tool.
So close.
I know.
Multi-function finger presser tool. These retail for $7.99. I would not recommend it with this project, but this have next to your sewing machine. If you're piecing squares, you can just zip right down the side and keep going. Would not use it to press on the bias because you'll stretch it. You can use it as a stylus, as a marking tool, all kinds of stuff.
And everybody loves this tool.
Everybody loves this tool.
Got plenty of them in stock, so if you want one, need another one, your first one's lost. I do believe we've had some customers who
I know.
have lost theirs and need to find another one. So
I actually think this will fit in your little caddy on your sewing machine too.
it might be
Like down where the buttonhole
pretty
foot
close
is.
to the buttonhole, yeah.
Well, I mean, as quilters, we could just pull that buttonhole foot out, and
Yeah.
I'd rather lose that than this because I'm not mending. Might make, but I'm not going to mend. So we just need a winner. You got something to show us while we're...
Joan, these came in, so we really ought to show them.
We should. This is a new little thing from the Grace Company. Very, very popular. Aren't they on sale this month too?
$7.89, I believe.
So this is that table that...
Oh, I'm just sorry. I found something that would
This is the danger table.
would work.
So this is a little tabletop
Little cutie
quilting
frame.
machine. They call it the cutie. Doesn't take up a whole lot of room. Doesn't weigh a lot. You can get it out, put it away, and your domestic machine sits right on it. Straight line quilting, all kinds, free motion. There are some accessories that you can buy for your machine as well to do start and stop up here instead of on the pedal.
So some of the functions
Yeah.
work. But if you've got, even as a gift, for someone getting started, I mean, this is a good way to kind of get them into quilting. It doesn't take a lot of space. It's only 4 foot long. You can store it in a corner. So pull your machine back off for piecing or whatever. And then practice a little bit of quilting to kind of get you started, especially if you're space conscious.
And if you can't sit for long period or stand for long periods, you can sit down and do this. This can be on your dining table. We've got it on
Just a little mobile table, really.
Table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great for some of the young people starting out who just want to get into quilting at a good budget price. So.
Us older quilters too. I mean,
right.
I could do some stuff on this.
Yeah, and we'll get her loaded up.
Yep, it's got little clamps that you clamp your quilt in.
Yes, Mrs. Cranford, we do have the gold subscription cards for yours if you're interested. Hey, Carla, how are you tonight?
So, just a fun little thing.
Can you take us through the Thread Club? You've got one customer asking about the Thread Club and how much that is.
So, the Thread Club I don't know how much the boxes are going to be once we get them again. We'll probably keep it the same price. It's $20 to join, and the box comes with a spool of white Aerofil in it. And then all of your purchases to fill up the box are 20% off. And then, that's it. $20 to join, 20% off your thread. And the white spool that comes in the box is free. Well,
and this particular cutie frame, actually, there is a Grace version of it. There's also a Juki version of it, which has some more blues on it. It says Juki, of course, which we'll have those as well. So if whatever your preference is, we can definitely accommodate that.
and this is a great machine for that. The Juki, it's just a straight stitch machine. When you're doing something like this, a straight stitch machine is going to work a little bit better than your zigzag machine.
Bernadine, I feel bad for you. She's got a fly in her bedroom. It's driving her crazy.
Does she have a kitty to chase it?
The machine is not included. I just
Yeah.
picked up a 2010 and put it on there.
Yep.
What size quilt will accommodate? Well, they're actually saying that you can do any size quilt.
Yeah.
Just like your domestic, but
You do have to baste your quilt
sure.
before you put it on here, or spray stabilize, like with the 505 spray. But yeah, once you have it stabilized, you can do just about any kind of quilt. You just quilt it and move on. Move your quilt, advance it. So yeah, these are pretty fun. TL 2010 is $9.99, so $7.99, so
1,700 in
So-
quilting.
1,800 will
Yeah.
be $17.98 for the package.
Yeah.
So less than $2,000, and you're doing your own quilting.
We have a winner on the doohickey. That's Karen Brown,
Karen Brown, congratulations.
and I think that's spelled Caryn,
Okay.
I believe.
If you have not shopped with us, or this is your first visit, please go to quiltershq.com and register for JoanSews, and that will give us your information. If you're local, you can come in the store and pick it up. If you're not, we will ship it to you for free. And if it's your first time shopping and you've claimed some of the layer cakes that I was showing you, also register for JoanSews, and then we will email you an invoice for the items that you selected, and once you pay, we'll ship it off to you. Shipping is a flat $5.99. It's free over $75. So
Yeah, our phone number is the same, 913-217-7736. Molly's going to post that.
Yep.
Ellen, yes, it will work with most domestic machines.
Yep.
So, because it's just really sitting on the frame.
Yeah. This
So-
is adjustable. So this part right here, it moves up and down. So if your machine is taller, because this is kind of a, I don't know, Joe's going to cringe. It's kind of a squatty machine. It's not very thick here. So some of the machines are
Yeah,
bigger.
right.
This will go up and down. This moves in and out. So if right now it looks like it's set perfectly for this machine. So, but if you have a larger throat, you can set it on here.
Yeah, it's got quite a few adjustments on the height. So,
Yep.
and not too much to put it together. Maybe a couple hours.
Yep.
The most. So.
Pretty easy to do.
Let's see. Questions.
If there are no questions, that's our show for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it, and please, 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 if you make this quilt blog, send it to us so that we can post it and share it. And I'm looking at it from this angle, and I'm thinking, okay, now I got to cut out some red and cream 10-inch squares because it's creating this secondary pattern in the block that is kind of cool.
You did have a question from Gail. Why didn't you make a line and sew each side to start with?
It wouldn't work. That works for a different block that I did. So you need the, because inside of this, there's the 4-patch. Thank you, Molly. So you need to cut these two pieces out first. I don't know if you can see that. You have to cut these two pieces out first before you sew the block, because you have to have, then you're going to sew it with the two pieces in the middle. That's why. So we can get this cool little 4-patch in the middle.
Let's see. So we've been traveling a little bit, Joan. We just got back. It was some pretty long days, but I think in our travels, one of the things that we always say at the end of the show is remember to check your thread path.
Check your thread path, check your needle, change your needle,
Check your bobbin tension.
check your bobbin tension, oil your rotary hook, and that's good advice for all machines, but it's especially good for long armors. Every machine threads differently. Some machines are very similar to others. Take the Juki TL2200 long arm and the Juki J350. To look at the machines, you can't tell them apart. They look exactly the same. They thread differently. So if you have a J350 and you go find a TL2200 and use that for your threading guide, guess what you're going to have? Tension issues. So
I think it's super important to remember those things and check them. Save you a lot of frustrated sewing.
Straight stitch machines. So long arms are a straight stitch machine. That's all they do is just one stitch, needle up, needle down. Bernina has the front load and side load bobbins. Good way to remember which way your needle goes in is the long groove that goes up the needle goes towards your bobbin. So on this machine, the bobbin is in the sides right here. Here's your bobbin. So that long groove and the eye faces the side on this machine. One of these days we'll have a machine taken apart and we'll show you how a rotary hook works. It's kind of cool. But sometimes we get our needles in backwards, and I think just about every long arm customer we have has done it at least once. So it's kind of a nuisance. Long arms don't have the flat side on the shaft of the needle, so it's kind of hard to get it in straight. So, but yes, oil your rotary hook,
Change your needle.
Change your needle. Check your thread path.
All right. If you guys don't have any more questions for us tonight, we went a couple minutes over.
This is going to be cute.
We went a couple minutes over, but we wanted to really share that with you. And so we hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Yep.
And we'll see you next week on Joan Sews.
Have a good week. See you soon.